For the serious whitetail hunter, the upcoming season can be full of anticipation, excitement, and a lot of unknowns.
There's just nothing growing. Nothing. It's so frustrating.
Some seasons, after all the hard work, the success almost feels like it comes too easily.
I'm in shock. I'm in shock right now. Scissors. You got it.
Then, there are some seasons, no matter how hard you work, the season just completely humbles you.
Biggest deer of my life, and I just screwed it up.
I don't know what the heck's going on here. I don't know, I missed that deer. Not very good.
Then there are some where it just comes down to straight perseverance.
He's a giant. I hope I got that on film. Thank you, Lord.
This time, we lean on Romans 5, 3, and 4. And not only that, but we also glory in tribulation, knowing that tribulation produces perseverance, and perseverance produces character, and character produces hope. And to us at Whitetail Edge, perseverance means results. I'm Ben Rising, and welcome to this year's Whitetail Edge. Whitetail Edge is brought to you by Mossy Oak, Black Widow Deer Lures, Prime Archery, G5 Outdoors, and Novix Tree Stands. Hi, and welcome back to Whitetail Edge. This is the final episode of the season. I hope you've enjoyed what you've watched so far. It's been a pretty decent run of shows for us. This was Dylan's first year of editing, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I think he did a pretty good job for his first year of editing the show. And, you know, we didn't have all the greatest deer footage this year like we have in the past, but we tried to make the best of what we could. So this show here is really going to just fall in line right with that. This is the show of struggles, the show of perseverance, and sometimes, no matter how hard you grind, things just don't work out the way you want them to. But there's some good, deep details in this show and some good info. And I think there's a lot of things that you can still find entertaining in this episode of Whitetail Edge. Well, as you can see, I'm back here in Kentucky. I was here about a week and a half ago, checking this lease out. I really liked it. I didn't see a ton of deer sign, but I loved how the farm laid. Top access, this field tucked in here. Dead end road, I just couldn't believe that this lease was still available, you know, and again, it was through base camp. Anybody could have got it. Top access to me is really important. I feel like if you're in hill country and you have to access through the bottom of a farm to get to the sweet spots, you're already got a lot of the odds stacked against you because of thermals, deer traffic, deer sitting up high looking down at you. I feel like it's just, it's a tough battle. It can happen. You can pull it off. I mean, I've killed deer on farms like that. A few years ago, I killed a deer called Splits in that same scenario. But man, you really got to learn how to hunt those farms and be cagey about it. Everybody asks why I like Black Widow deer lures. Well, the proof is in the pudding.
So, my scrape's right here. First thing I'm gonna do, I want to freshen this thing up to really get this deer paying attention anyway. So I'm gonna put this Black Widow on there. Yeah, baby. I just smoked a giant on a Black Widow mock scrape, baby. Create the scrape in a spot. You use the scent that gets them fired up. They take it over, and then sometimes you can fire it back up, or you don't even need to. Sometimes they just take it over and start naturally doing it. So, yeah, you can make a visual scrape, and it does work. But I feel that they get on it a lot faster if you use like real deer urine, you know, like young buck, especially early season like this. Just some young buck urine, a little bit of branch butter. I'm going to put it right underneath that hickory tree right there. I'll have it stand here. This is a perfect fence gap right here.
I'm doing this prep work. I've got my cameras running, and believe it or not, it took like a week and a half, and I was like, man, I don't anything. Like nothing was, coming to the corn or to the mineral licks, nothing. And all of a sudden, on the same day, I got 2 bucks together, and they come out of the woods, and they're feeding right there on the grass. They come through, they find the mineral in the corn there, and just beautiful 10-point. I would say, he was a good mid-50s deer at least, and I was like, man, that's good enough for me. For something like this, that'd be a great early season buck. Well, we're in Kentucky now, getting here for the opener of the season. Today's first day of Kentucky, September 3rd, 22. DeerCast says it's okay day. It's not going to be great, but one thing that I'm looking at is it's been really dry down here, and we got rain coming up. Looks like it's going to rain about an hour and a half or so, and then it's going to stop, lighten up as the evening wears on, and 6 to 8 o'clock and be done. That should make the deer move, I feel, because it's been really hot. And I think once that rain gets through, if they don't even, they might move during the rain even, but guaranteed once the rain's over, they're going to move to the fields.
Moving to the north and to the east. This is radar estimates. Some of these numbers are incredible. To put this into perspective, we often see between 3 and 4 inches of rain in a month this time of the year. Some of you picked that up today alone, if not more than that. So we're talking like 6 to 8 week rain totals within a few hours. Because of that, we've had flash flood issues, which you've seen from the videos right before I came on. You can see some flash flood warnings still to effect here for Metro Louisville, but also where it's going to be worse is likely our far eastern area.
Absolutely drenched us. We're sitting in the rain. It's just absolutely pouring. Thunder, lightning storm. And me and Dylan both are looking at each other like, what are we doing? Like, why are we still sitting here? We finally just decided, let's just get out. And we got out of the tree. We'd put a Novix in there, and I was like, let's get out of here. I said, we're just going to mess this up. Let's just get back to the hotel. We'll dry out. We'll try to hit it again tomorrow. And so the next morning, me and Dylan got up. We went back out to the farm. We'd hung another Novix stand in another spot, and we decided to try to create a couple different spots for different winds. We knew this buck was here. We just didn't know exactly where he was bedded 100% of the time, and how these deer exactly use this farm. Like, this is new to us. And so, we just were trying to be prepared, whether we had to come back in October or whenever it was, just be prepared to try to get on this deer in any sort of fashion. Whitetail Edge is powered by DeerCast, Illusion Systems, Deer Grow, Redneck Blinds, Spartan Cameras, and Analogics. So at this point, Ohio season's coming in like November or September 25th or 6th, I believe it was last year, fairly early for us. And my efforts were kind of shifted towards tall boy. And, me and Dylan really wanted to get that deer on the dirt. So I kind of was letting Kentucky sit for a little bit because I wasn't really getting just overly amounts of like activity that was making me be like, hey, we got to go down there and, get on this deer right away. He was there. Dylan even ran down a few times, freshened up the corn, in the areas that we were trying to feed these deer. We actually started to feed them in 2 different spots, so we'd have 2 different wind locations. And he made a lot of trips down there for me, actually, and helped me out quite a bit. And so we were trying to do everything we could to get as much footage as we could last year of different deer. But we decided that we were going to focus on Tall Boy in Ohio, try to get that deer killed, and get him on the ground. And then we'll see what's going on from there, and then make a decision of where we're going to hunt. Let. Thank you, Lord. Get this monkey off our back. So we get Tall Boy on the ground, first part of the season, within the 3rd day of the season in Ohio, Dylan filmed me kill Tall Boy. Great buck, great episode. And so now my efforts are like, all right, something I can, either shift to Illinois or back to Kentucky. And I really felt like I should throw my efforts back into Kentucky on this 10 point a little bit. He was still there. So I decided one week to go down by myself. Dylan was busy. He was hunting in Ohio for his buck. I decided to go down, self-film a little bit, and see what I couldn't get done. Well, it's day number 2 here in Kentucky on my 2nd trip down here. Had a great morning this morning, bucks fighting, carrying on. Just little guys, but it was intense. Thought I might actually see the big deer I was after, but I didn't. But anyways, I'm back in the stand. That deer was in this field last night, but he was in the very back. The deer that I'm after, he just didn't come to the front. But I got a Spartan back there that he walked by a couple times, and he just was milling around back there. This deer's just got 9 lives. Hopefully tonight he runs out, but hoping he'll come up here. I got the train in the background. Trains bring me good luck. So we're just gonna sit tight here and see what happens.
Whitetail Edge is brought to you by these other fine sponsors: Advantage Ag and Equipment, HHA Sports, Miller's Gun and Supply, Rogue Bowstrings, NFP Insurance, Classic Rack, Cobra Archery, Packer Max, and E-Bikes of Holmes County.
He's coming right down into the mowed area, and I just had a coyote walk through, and he sees that coyote, and he gets a little nervous. He's standing there, he's watching the coyote, and he's just kind of tenseful. And he, at this point, he's at like 45 yards, but he's like not giving me a good angle. And finally, I'm just like, just calm down and let this thing play out. So he kind of circles down, and all of a sudden he comes right down in front of me to the right. I can't get any shots, and he just kind of like makes a loop and then starts walking straight out in front of me, quartering away, perfect angle. And I'm like, this is a chip shot. He goes out there, sticks his head down, starts eating, and I'm like, I'm going to just pinwheel this deer. I come to full draw, and I release, and I thought I smoked this deer. I did. I thought I saw the arrow go right through him. The, nocturnal knock was glowing in the dirt. I thought, I just smoked this deer. And then I watched him. He ran, took those couple of leaps, stopped. I was expecting him to fall over. He stopped. He's looking around. And then he just comes right down to the woods, walks towards me again, and walks into the woods. And I'm like, what in the world's going on? Like, did I not hit that deer? And I couldn't believe it. And so I knock another arrow. He's behind me again. I got one spot in the woods that I can kind of somewhat see where I've got a hole. And I shoot again, and I shoot right over this deer again. I'm like, what in the heck is going on? So at this point, I'm like beside myself. And, I'm just being honest. Like, I missed that deer 2 times. And so I get down, I go out, look at my arrow, and I mean, there's just nothing. Like, just nothing. I couldn't believe it. And so I review the footage, and you can see that the deer just completely, like, he dropped so fast. And I don't know if it was just his tense from seeing that coyote. I just don't know. But I mean, I never had a deer react like that. And I actually just skimmed the top of his back, and, didn't hurt him at all. I mean, he was fine. And he's still there. I mean, I got pictures of him again. A couple weeks later, he came back in the winter. He was there, and I decided, you know what? I'm not going to hunt him anymore. I'm going to just leave him be. And I even shot my bow again, and it was completely sighted in. So I have no idea what I did wrong, but I just didn't hold low enough on that deer, and I didn't get him. Hey, thanks for watching Whitetail Edge. I know this was an unusual episode for us, but maybe you still learned something, or you can just kind of enjoy that sometimes we don't always have success either. So you can enjoy the failures of Ben Rising. But again, I hope you guys have a great season this fall. Thanks for watching Whitetail Edge. I say it all the time. Without you, the viewers, we are nothing. I truly do believe we have some of the best fans in the industry. Our fans are so loyal to the brand and what we try to teach you. And I hope you're learning things. Use that deer cast. And again, just like in this episode of, Misery and all these, we were using deer cast for the maps, everything, to just try to get on these deer, where we're hanging stands, what we're doing, where we're going to put plots next year, dropping icons and markers, with notes on them for the following year of what we're going to do. It's always learning, and it's a process. Again, thank you again, and good luck to you this season.